Welcome to Letting Go University. Today we are looking at lesson 358 of the A Course in Miracles workbook, and we're going to do some letting go around it. So some of you, I realize I don't have a really good primer on letting go on the channel. There is a presentation that talks about it a lot. You can check out the video on realizing your ultimate relationship, which covers a whole lot of the process of releasing, letting go, and what's going on there. But that's something I'd love to get you guys soon, because letting go is so simple, and yet there's some things that are nice to know about it. And one of those main things is pretty much all the resistance that is coming up to the Course in Miracles workbook lessons and having a direct experience of what's being suggested is just having to do with feelings. And in these feelings are filed many, many different thoughts and memories that just get projected onto now. And to release a feeling, to let go of a feeling, it's just about letting it be there without editing it, modifying it, trying to change it, trying not to feel it. And as you let that feeling be there, it goes. And sometimes that happens quickly. Oftentimes, especially if you're newer to the letting go process, it could take quite a few rounds to let go of some of these things. And oftentimes we're holding on to them. We think like fear is important or it's helping us. And so I'll have a great resistance to letting go of the fear or anger. I might not even allow myself to feel anger. I'm saying anger is bad. And therefore I keep stuffing it and stuffing it and stuffing it instead of just letting myself feel it until it releases. I've spent lots of time releasing on fear, lots of time releasing on anger. And the cool thing is that even if it doesn't all go, it's lightening up, and you notice a shift in your whole field. With every release, you're going to start to feel lighter and lighter and lighter. And you'll notice that the resistance to the ideas in the Course in Miracles workbook and the choices and the things you're choosing to do in your life and guided to do by God in your life, just the resistance starts to dissolve because the fear just isn't there as much. The anger isn't there as much. The guilt isn't there as much. So it's a gentle and gradual process. And if you could have some courage and compassion when you're looking at this stuff and it's coming up, so that you can really open up and let it go. If you guys have questions about letting go, I have tons of free information available for you guys, and lots of these sessions. There's like 900 sessions on all kinds of topics available at the link in the description for free, or you can join us for other live sessions where I'd be happy to answer your questions. So for today's lesson, why wouldn't I call to God? Why wouldn't I ask God for help? It says here, no call to God can be unheard nor left unanswered. And of this I can be sure. His answer is the one I really want. But can I be sure of that? So this is an example. Yeah, God, give me guidance. Tell me what to do. Where should I go? Who should I talk to? What should I say? What's going to happen? God, tell me. And I'm speaking from my own personal process here that seems to be being experienced. Is that I'm really clinging on to my old ideas of what I think is right and wrong, what I think should and shouldn't happen. And so I'm scared that the answer God gives me isn't going to be what I want. This lesson says his answer is the one I really want, but out of fear, I might not even call to God. What if he says what I don't want? So there might even be resentments with God. God, I asked you for help and I didn't get an answer. Oh, the answer was likely there, though it might not be what the ego wanted. Even things that don't look good to the ego are often very beneficial to the spirit. And the opportunities that come up for surrendering smallness and limitation. So we're going to look at that resistance to the answers, to asking God for help, to calling to God, and to really being open to the answers that come through the Holy Spirit. It's my understanding that God doesn't really have an opinion or a desire about anything that's going on in the ego world. And because all of it's perception, all of it's illusion, as far as the ego is experiencing it. And so the Holy Spirit is here to translate for us what we really want, which is happiness. God's will for us is perfect happiness. That's one of the lessons. Love. Love sounds pretty good. If I actually knew what that was, I wouldn't fear it. And peace sounds nice. Joy sounds nice. These are the things that the Holy Spirit is going to give us guidance and direction on how to have an experience of our divine inheritance, that happiness, that joy, that love, and that peace, which may require the relinquishment of holding on to some of our cherished beliefs and habits and things that we've been doing and thinking were true. And how do you let go? How can you tell somebody how to let go? How do I let go? How do I let go? Oh, I just open up and allow whatever's coming up to be there and go. The only reason it's not going is I'm fighting it, claiming it's real and holding on to it, and so it's not going. Letting go is just a choice. You're never going to be forced to let go. Well, I don't have my gun today. If I had my gun, I could say, let that go, but I don't have it today. So you guys get to make the choice whether to let go or not. All right, so let's do some releasing. No call to God can be unheard nor left unanswered. And of this I can be sure, his answer is the one I really want. Now, maybe the one you really want, but not the ego's like, it might not be what I want. There's oftentimes a lot of fear, like, what about my family? What about my money? What about my sex? What about my body? Is it going to be okay? If I turn things over to God, maybe I won't survive. And so we don't even ask. And or sometimes we're not even open to the answer because we're scared it's not going to be what we want to hear. So could you just notice if there's any sense that God's will for you is not what you want? And could you just notice the feeling, any resistance? And it's okay. It's okay. There's so much resistance to this. Otherwise, everybody would just be surrendered to God's will. We'd be experiencing something very different. So could you allow yourself to notice any fear, maybe any anger or wanting to control God, control God's answer? Any desire for it to be a particular way? Can you notice any resistance to actually wanting God's will? There could be fear that I'm going to be punished, guilt, believing in sin. Just notice any resistance, any feeling that comes up, and there might be thoughts. And those thoughts that pop up, you could just ignore them and notice the feeling. A big resistance to letting go is thinking. Could you go behind the thoughts and notice the feeling energy, the vibration in the field, in the body? And could you just allow yourself to be with that feeling without trying to change it, without judging it as good or bad? resisting it keeps it stuck and claims it's real. Could you just open up and allow the feeling, this feeling that comes up? Why I wouldn't just ask for God's will and receive the answer I really want. Just open up to that feeling, allow that feeling to be there, and just let it run. And that might not feel very comfortable. Oh yes, the ego will panic during releases. It'll start thinking. What do I do? Oh, this feeling. Could you just ignore the thoughts and just be with the feeling? Let the feeling run. And it will go as it goes. And there just might be more of it. It's not that it's not going. Just sitting with it, lighting it up with your awareness, no longer fighting it, just letting that feeling unpack. Could you let it go? Would you let it go? If it's just a choice, sorry, I forgot my gun. I'm not going to force you to let go. Nobody is. Just would you, if you could? And so there might be more of that feeling. And could you just let it keep running? Keep letting it go if there's more. A big resistance to letting go is that, oh, it didn't go. I said I'd let it go and it's still here. There's still more. It's okay. Just continuing to let it go, letting that feeling unpack, ignoring the thoughts. And it goes. It just takes what it takes. Just taking the now feeling and letting it unpack, letting it go. Just right now, just right now, just right now. In today's lesson, no call to God can be unheard nor left unanswered. And of this I can be sure. His answer is the one I really want. Now, maybe the one my higher self wants, my true self. Now, the ego is like, Ooh. Just notice any feelings that come up. Any of these ego programs. I can't call on God because God might not give me what I want. Well, no, it might not be what the ego wants. It's just what you, the truth of you, wants. And so could you just acknowledge and open up and allow any resistance to come up? Any feeling. And oftentimes you'll notice thoughts. This is resistant thoughts. Oh, no, I can't just ask for God's will in this because that's not what I want. Essentially, that sums up the ego's constant. So could you just ignore the thoughts and notice the feeling? It's a pattern of energy. It's a vibration, a frequency. Could you open up? And it's just been stuck behind all that thinking and behind trying not to feel it. Could you open it up? We could put a word on it like fear or wanting to control, perhaps guilt. Maybe I'm going to be punished. Maybe that's God's will for me. Again, ignoring the thoughts, whatever the feeling is, labeled or not, trying to label it as resistance. Could you just get into the feeling of it? Just open up and allow that feeling of it just in this moment. Just right now, feeling this feeling. You could even take the light of your awareness and dive into the feeling. We spend so much time running from the feeling and we drag it along. How about just going into the feeling? Could you just go into it, feel it, experience it, relinquishing judgment and opinionation about this feeling, letting it be just a feeling, just right now. Just letting it release by giving it a door, by shining your light into the feeling. Just going into the feeling, feeling that feeling, experiencing it. Could you release this feeling? Just a little bit of it, or a lot of it. It's just a yes or a no. And you can say yes or no. And release either way. This is about finally opening up and allowing this stuff to move, being honest, being courageous, really looking at it. Would you release this feeling? That would keep you from calling upon God in all things and hearing the answer you want. Just staying open and releasing. Staying open and releasing. There might be more. People think they're not releasing. They don't know how much they've released. They're only sitting with the right now of the feeling. If you sit with the now of the feeling, let go of resisting it, feeling it now, and just releasing, just open to it, eventually it goes. And it's lightening up all along the way. So it might come in waves. Could you just ride the waves? Open, releasing. It's just a choice to ignore the thoughts, feel the feeling, and release. Releasing the ego's attempts to block you calling to God and hearing the answers you really want. Your higher self wants, not the ego. The ego fights this all along the way. That's okay. It's just doing what it does. No call to God can be unheard nor left unanswered. And of this I can be sure. His answer is the one I really want. And perhaps that seems there's a little less resistance now. Just notice any shift in the openness. Just calling on God. Call on God? Right, I can do that? The Holy Spirit will answer and will give me answers that I really want? Yes, at all times and all places. That's what the Course is teaching us, what we really are and what's really available to us. Oneness and atonement with God, where every call we make is heard and answered with what we really want. And could you allow up any more ego resistance? To fight the ego claims it's real. To fight these feelings claim it's real. To engage with the thoughts on those frequencies of those feelings claims they're real. Could you ignore the thoughts and just feel any more feeling other than happiness, joy, love, peace? That's all ego resistance. Could you just allow that feeling, let it be there? This feeling that would tell you calling to God is not a good idea. Ooh, God. It's okay. Everybody's got it to some degree until they release it, until they surrender it. So rather than denying it and resisting the resistance, how about just opening up and allowing up the feeling, that ego feeling, that vibration. Just a feeling, not a good or a bad feeling, just a feeling. Could you let go of resisting the feeling and allow it to be there? Let it come up and just have an experience with it. Feel the sensation of it. Whatever might be happening physiologically, just experiencing it and ignoring the thoughts. Just choosing to experience the feeling instead of fighting it or running from it and claiming it's real. Just lighting it up, letting it run. And this is your choice to surrender this experience to God if you so choose. Could you surrender this feeling, this experience to God? Just this moment, surrendering just for right now. Would you surrender the experience of this feeling to God? Just turning it over right now, right now. The only time we ever surrender is now, and we never have to. There's no guns pointed at you. Surrender or die. It's just your choice. Just right now. Would you surrender the experience of this feeling now? Surrendering the inhibitions, the resistance to calling upon God and getting the answers you want. His answers for anything you're going through. Anything that's happening. Just surrendering the resistance, this feeling that would tempt you to not call upon Him. Could you just surrender the experience of any resistance, any feeling that would have you deny or cut yourself off from your source? Attempt to. It's impossible. But boy, some of these feelings, some of these ego programs really try to make it seem possible. Could you just keep surrendering this ego program, surrendering to God, turning over what's happening right now, and right now just surrendering. You can do this anytime, anywhere, no matter what's going on, you can surrender. You can just experience what's happening, ignore the ego's thoughts and imaginations, just surrendering, turning it over, calling upon Him, and getting the guidance, the direction, the answers that you really want. Instead of the ego's illusions, fantasies, sufferings, and enslavement. Could you surrender to God? and call upon Him in all things? Would you surrender to God and receive His answers, the ones that direct you in your greatest happiness, love, and peace? By the grace of the Holy Spirit, the love of God is delivered even to the small self that's been believing it's separate. Could you surrender? Ask and receive the answers, the ones you want. Well done surrendering. Thank you for your choice to surrender to our Father and be with Him in the world. You are His gift to the world. Have the best day. Calling and listening and receiving and releasing any resistance to divine will for the world and for you.